Hey everybody, it's Ron from Pick Dawgz, and this is Ron's Rundown. We're going to go over the MLB games scheduled for Tuesday, April 1st, 2025. If you like this video, make sure to hit that thumbs up button and subscribe. Put your baseball picks in the comment section below. And if you're looking for my best bets, the games I love the most in baseball and other sports, you can find those at the Premium Picks tab of pickdawgz.com. There's also a link in the description. Alrighty, here we go. Here are the games for Tuesday in baseball. First up, we have the New York Mets taking on the Miami Marlins, and this is the second time you're recording this video because I just found out the first time I recorded it, the microphone was not turned on. But now I should be able to rattle off the information with ease. Maybe I'll still slip up a few times, but in this game, Kodai Senga, Sandy Alcantara pitched really well on opening day in the first few innings. Towards the end of that start, his control started to fade, and the Pirates were able to get to him. And I think the Mets will be able to get to him as well. When you look at Alcantara against the Mets in his career, not the best numbers. I mean, he's got good numbers against most teams, most lineups that he's faced. But the Mets are one of those teams. They've overall done well against the Marlins, but even Sandy, and they've got to him for a pretty low strikeout rate, high walk rate, high expected slugging percentage. I think the Mets can find some runs on Sandy early, go after that Marlins bullpen late. Senga, I wouldn't expect many innings from this game and in the early, probably the first month of the year, but he pitched well in spring. He's coming off the injury, but I still think he pitches well enough for the Mets to grab the W. In this one, I'm going to go with New York on the money line. Next up, the Texas Rangers taking on the Cincinnati Reds. Nathan Eovaldi and Carson Spears are your starters. Big game Nate, he pitched well in his opening day start against his former team in the Red Sox. It was a quality start. 6 innings, 2 runs, 9 strikeouts. He's actually pitched pretty well at Great American Ballpark in his career, which is a very hitter-friendly ballpark, but not a lot of innings. I mean, he's been mostly in the American League in his career. 14 innings, a sub-2 ERA, though. I think he pitches well, and I think the Rangers get to Spears, who didn't really miss a lot of bats in spring training, didn't get a lot of work either. I think the Rangers find some runs on him, and I think that they can get to the Reds bullpen, which I've mentioned, I think eventually will be about a league average bullpen, but with the current injuries, I'm not in love with it right now. So give me the Rangers in this one on the money line. In our next game, we go to Yankee Stadium as the Diamondbacks take on the Yankees. Corbin Burnes and Will Warren are your projected starters, both making their season debuts. Of course, Corbin Burnes making his Diamondbacks debut. I think he pitches well this year, and he pitched well in spring, but it's tough to go against the Yankees right now with how hot their bats have been. You got to say that the best offense in baseball right now. Dodgers certainly make an argument for that, but I mean, you can talk about the torpedo bats all you want. Aaron Judge isn't using that bat. He's got 4 home runs, a bunch of RBIs, a grand slam already. The Yankees offense looks great, and Will Warren, he did give up a good amount of sharp contact in spring training, but he's got great strikeout stuff as well. I think the Yankees back him up, and I think it'll be good enough for the Yankees to win this game. I just can't go against the Yankees right now in their current form. Give me the Yanks on the money line and run line. Next up, the Pittsburgh Pirates taking on the Tampa Bay Rays. No official starter for Pittsburgh, but Shane Baz should be going for the Rays. Now, Baz last year pitched well in about 80 innings of work. He had a very low 3 ERA. His strikeout numbers weren't the best, and in spring, he wasn't really missing a lot of bats either. He was giving up some sharp contact, and I do worry about that a little bit. Now against the Pirates team, it's not really known for its offense, but I think it'll be good enough to get to Baz for a few runs to cover the run line and potentially win this game outright. We'll have to wait and see who the Pirates go with on the mound to start this game. Could be more of a bullpen game, but I like Pittsburgh's chances to compete. Give me the Pirates in this one. Next are the Washington Nationals taking on the Toronto Blue Jays. Trevor Williams and Jose Barrios are your starters. Barrios struggled in that season debut, even at the Rogers Center, where we know he pitched really well last year at home. But in that game against the Orioles on opening day, it was 5 innings, 9 hits, 6 runs, 3 home runs was the big concern for me. And now you're going up against Trevor Williams, who was one of the most profitable pitchers in baseball last year, not because he's got great velocity or great strikeout stuff, but he just gets a lot of outs. 6-1 record, 2.03 ERA. A lot of the games that he pitched in that the Nationals won, they were getting great plus money prices as well, making him one of the more profitable pitchers in baseball from a betting perspective. So for me, I can't go against the Nationals in this kind of spot with Barrios struggling in that first matchup and at this kind of price. Give me the Nationals on the money line. Next up, we have the Kansas City Royals taking on the Milwaukee Brewers. Michael Lorenzen going for KC, no official starter for the Brewers. Now, I think the Brewers are in a tough spot right now with their pitching staff, and I don't think it's going to be an issue for too long, but, I mean, the first series, we know the Yankees scored a ton of runs. The Brewers used a lot of pitchers, and Jake Bauers pitched in back-to-back games. That's how bad it got, but, the Brewers at the beginning of the season, injuries in their rotation and their bullpen set him up for, a lot of bullpen games. Like Monday, we saw, Elvin Rodriguez couldn't go too deep. So when you look at the Royals here, while I don't love the Lorenzen, he may not be my favorite option to back. He pitched pretty well in 2024. He's somebody that doesn't really miss a lot of bats and does have some walk issues at times, but he gets some outs. He was really, he's had a low BABIP throughout his career, so he has been one of the more fortunate pitchers in baseball over the years. I think he'll be good enough in this one. I think the Royals just have an advantage because of the Brewers' injuries. The Brewers using so many pitchers recently. Give me KC in this one on the money line. Next up, the Minnesota Twins taking on the Chicago White Sox. Simeon Woods, Richardson, and Shane Smith are your starters. I'm going to take Chicago plus a half a run in the first 5 innings. I wouldn't want to sweat out the bullpens because I do think the Twins have a big advantage there. But in the first 5, I think, the White Sox, even though they're one of the weaker lineups in baseball, should be able to get to Simeon Woods Richardson, who struggled towards the end of spring training, last outing in spring, giving up 6 runs. And I think Shane Smith, he's somebody that won this job in spring training because of how effective he was. He was missing bats, he was efficient, and I think he pitches well enough against the Twins lineup that I think will eventually get going, but right now is inconsistent and struggling. So I'm going to go with the White Sox plus a half a run in the first 5. Next up, we have the St. Louis Cardinals taking on the Los Angeles Angels. Kyle Hendricks and Matthew Liberatore are your starters. Kyle Hendricks has a lot of experience pitching against these Cardinals, pitching in Busch Stadium, and he's got pretty good numbers at Busch. You look at the about 80 innings at work, a sub-3 ERA. He wasn't great in 2024, but he pitched really well in spring. He had a lot of work, about 18 innings of work, and a sub-3 ERA there. He's got great numbers against the current Cardinals lineup, also in about 100 plate appearances, a low xWOBA, low walk rate. I think he pitches well, and I think the Angels can back him up. The Angels, I think, are a top-heavy lineup right now, but Matthew Liberatore is just somebody that he was a big-time pitching prospect for St. Louis at the beginning of his career, just hasn't been able to be consistent at the major league level, especially as a starter, and I think the Angels can find a few runs off him and win this game at a solid price. I'm going to take the Angels on the money line. Next up, the San Francisco Giants taking on the Houston Astros. Logan Webb for San Fran, Hayden Wesneski for the Astros. Logan Webb was not his best in that first game of the season. I was expecting a lot more from Webb in the opening day start, but it was at Great American Ballpark, which is hitter-friendly, and Webb is more of a pitch-to-contact guy, which doesn't always end up being the best recipe there for a pitch-to-contact starter. I think he'll be a lot better the rest of the way, and I think he's going to pitch well in this game against an Astros lineup that he's got good numbers against in about 91 plate appearances, a low strikeout rate like we mentioned, but a low xWOBA at 300, low walk rate, doesn't give up a lot of sharp contact, keeps the ball on the ground. Wesneski has really struggled against the current Astros lineup. Now, granted, very, very small sample size, only 22 plate appearances, but a lot of sharp contact given up, and guys like Willy Adames, Wilmer Flores, and Heliot Ramos already have home runs against Wesneski in their career. He also has some control issues, so I don't think it's a great spot here. I think it's kind of a pitching mismatch, so I'm going to go with the Giants on the money line. Next up, we have the San Diego Padres hosting the Cleveland Guardians. We got Michael King and Logan Allen on the mound. I like the under in this game. I expect a bounce back from Michael King, who struggled with his control in that first matchup on opening day. Last year, he had 63 walks in 173 innings, but I do think he is one of the better options in this Padres rotation, and really, honestly, an underrated starting pitcher in the National League West. I think he'll bounce back and pitch well the rest of the way. I also think Logan Allen's a good option for Cleveland. Two of the best bullpens in baseball. I think we see a low-scoring game. Give me the under. Next up, we have the Detroit Tigers taking on the Seattle Mariners. Casey Mize and Logan Gilbert on the mound. Now, Casey Mize had over 100 innings last year, 102 innings. He was 2-6 with a 4.49 ERA. Similar to Matthew Liberatore, another big-time pitching prospect a few years ago that just hasn't been able to be consistent or stay on the field. Injuries have definitely played a role in his career, but he was a former #1 overall pick. He has a lot of talent. I expect him to pitch well in 2025. Problem is, Logan Gilbert on the other side has pitched really well at T-Mobile Park over the years. He was excellent in his season debut, and the Mariners do have good numbers against Casey Mize, granted, in a small sample size, just 25 plate appearances, but great expected slugging percentage. I think they'll find the runs, potentially the home runs, that'll be the difference maker in this game. I like the under, but it's a little bit too low of a total, not a lot of wiggle room, so I'm going to go with the Mariners on the money line. Next up, the Chicago Cubs taking on the Athletics. We got Justin Steele and Luis Severino on the mound. Now, Steele was good enough for the win in his last game against Arizona, but he still wasn't great in that game. We know he struggled in spring training. He wasn't great in the Tokyo series, and he gave up 3 runs, a home run, only 2 strikeouts in 5 innings against Arizona last time out. Again, it was good enough for the win. It was 1 inning shy of a quality start, but not the ace-level work that we're expecting from Justin Steele, or at least a very good number 2. And the big problem for me is the ground ball percentage is still below 50%. Last game, an 8 to 10 ground ball to fly ball ratio. Justin Steele really needs to be above that. He needs to be above 50%, in my opinion, to be as successful as he has been. And I think that the Athletics should be able to get to him. I also think Luis Severino was excellent in his season debut and A's debut in that first game. It was on opening day. It was a quality start. His strikeout numbers were there. We're not used to seeing Sevy earn a ton of Ks in the recent years, but he looked really sharp. His control was off a little bit, but I think the price is right with the Athletics in this one. I'm going to take the A's on the money line. Next up, the Atlanta Braves taking on the Los Angeles Dodgers. Chris Sale and Dustin May are your starters. This is one of those games where you can look at it, 2 ways. One, Chris Sale going for Atlanta. This could be one of the better chances for the Braves to pick up a win against one of the best teams in baseball. But you can also say, because of Chris Sale's on the mound, we're actually getting a much better price with the Dodgers than we usually would. Dodgers are home this season against almost any team, minus 200, minus 300 potentially. But in this situation, because it's the former Cy Young, the reigning Cy Young winner, it's a reasonable price. And I think I got to take advantage of that price while we can get it, because while Chris Sale's a great option, Dustin May, I think, could go toe-to-toe with him. He pitched really well in spring training. He's got a lot of talent in his game, and the Dodgers have such a great lineup behind him and a good bullpen to go with it. I got to go with the Dodgers in this one at a great price on the money line. And that's it. Those are the games for Tuesday in Major League Baseball. Hope you enjoyed this video. Again, if you're looking for my best bets, you can find those at Pick Dawgz Premium, and there is a link in the description. As always, this is Romanelli. Good luck.